Kia ora Year 10. This is the first video I'm making for you to help you master the topics in our first number topic. While you're watching this video, have a pen and your maths book with you. Try to write neatly in your maths book while you're following through. If that's too difficult, you could just have a pen and a piece of paper. But it's really, really important that you don't just watch, that you do the maths with me as you go. Okay, so today's lesson is going to be on how to convert standard form to ordinary form. This video is just going to look at big numbers with positive powers of 10. We'll save the small numbers for the next video. So, the first question is to write 4.35 in ordinary form. Remember from last week that when we write numbers in standard form, they have two parts. The first part always has this pattern with one digit, the 4, the decimal point, and then the rest of the number after the decimal point. The second part is where we multiply by 10 to the power of something. So in this case, we've got 4.35. So 4.35 times 10 to the power of 2. We're going to use our rules for multiplying by powers of 10. In this case, 10 squared is equal to 100. So when we put this back into ordinary form, the place value of the 4 needs to be 400. So our answer is going to be 435. Let's see how we can think about that using the bouncing the decimal place method, which is how Robbie described it so nicely last week. So we've got 4.35 and we can see that we've got 10 to the power of 2. To have that 4 be multiplied by 10 to the power of 2, we're moving it over two place value columns. We want it to become 100, so we bounce 1, 2, and that's where we put our decimal point in our head. So we don't want to put a decimal point in our final answer in this question. We'll see somewhere we have to. Okay, so let's try another one before it's your turn. Okay, write 8.92 times 10 to the power of 5 in ordinary form. So 8.92 times 10 to the power of 5 is equal to 8.92 times 1, and 5 zeros to get the right place value, times 100,000. So the place value of the 8 in ordinary form needs to be 800,000. So my answer is going to be 892. So I've moved the place value over 10 to the power of 2 so far, and I need to add 3 more zeros. Okay, so one way to look at this, if you feel like you need to use the bouncing zeros method while you're getting going, you can think of that first number as 8.92, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and so on. And we're going to bounce 5 places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 2, 0, 0, 0. Some of you will want to use the bouncing decimals method, and that's totally fine. Others of you will see it using the powers of 10 and be able to do the bouncing in your head. Okay, but remember, sometimes you will have to add in extra zeros to the right, which doesn't change the overall value of the number. Okay, so here are some notes for your book. It's really important, if we're going to start using videos for learning, that you still have some very good notes to help you revising for the tests. So you can put those examples in. If you find writing really difficult, another thing you could try is taking a screenshot of the video when you've paused it at this screen and then printing those notes. Either way is fine, but you do need some record of the method that you're using. And on the last slide, I'm going to give you some examples to try. Now it's your turn to try some. I want you to pause the video and do these. Do them in your book and make sure you show question and answer. Once you've unpaused the video, or hit play I'll go through the answers for you. So the first one is 5.62 times 10 to the power of 3, which is 5.62 times 1,000. Right, the place value when we finish this of that 5 needs to be 5,000, so it's 5,620. Right, give yourself a big tick in the book if you got that one right. Next one, 7.8 times 10 to the power of 4 is 7.8 times 10,000. Okay, 10 to the power of 4, 4 zeros. So the place value of the 7 needs to be 70,000. So it's going to be 78,000. Now look, I did not add 4 zeros to that number. Okay, I just needed to make sure that the place value of the 7 was 70,000. And because I've already got an 8 sitting there, I've actually only got to add 3 zeros. So it's always important to look at the place value or use bouncing decimals to make sure you've got it right. And that's what I'm going to do on this one here. So 9.2756. I'm going to whack some extra zeros in now. Okay, it doesn't really matter how many, enough that you'll not run out of them. Okay, so now we're going to bounce our decimal place 7 points, 7 places right, because the place value of the 9 in the end needs to be worth 9 times 10 to the power of 7. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 9, 2, 7, 5, 6, 0, 0, 0. Pretty hard to read, which is why we have standard form to start with. So I'm going to write that. Oh, just a sec. I'm going to write it in groups of 3. Now, it's quite hard to do that, so you kind of need to look from the back end of the number. So it's going to be 92,756,000. Okay, and we should be really happy we've got that answer, because if you think about it, you know that 10 to the power of 6 is 1 million, 10 to the power of 7 is 10 million, and so we want the value of the 9 to be 90 million. Now I've run out of room for that last one, so I'm just going to do it down the bottom here. This is not very nice setting out, but there you go. So this one is just 6 times 10 to the power of 4. 10 to the power of 4 is 10,000, so it's 660,000 for the final one. Okay, hopefully now you understand how to convert big numbers from standard form into ordinary form. The next video will go through how to do the smaller numbers, but it's exactly the same idea. Thanks for watching, and let me know how you found it.